I think we have a very athletic group. And I do think that even though those two guys in there are big guys, they move well. They're good in space. So it just allows us to have more plays with linemen potentially in space pulling, whether pulling to the perimeter, pulling inside. But and it just allows us to have some more schemes, a few more schemes that are becoming very popular in college football that we like as well. So yeah, I just think they're good overall big men that move around well. It's a good question. I mean, we've had a lot of practice time together, and then we got to pads around the 1st of October. So we practiced as a unit and as units and stuff prior to that, vigorously practiced. But then once the shoulder pads came on, we've been going on about 3 weeks here. But I like where we're at right now. I mean, obviously, we'll grow after the first game. Whatever happens, that's a baseline of who we are, and then we got to build on it from there. Your first game, lots of things can happen. I mean, I feel confident about what the kids are going to do and how hard they're going to play, and then we'll just grow and learn from there. The most growth usually on any football team is between game 1 and 2, my experience, and same with offensive line. And I'm hoping we can hit our stride pretty quickly just because we've had a long buildup and a lot of time together. But we'll just have to see. I mean, I have, not thinking about down the road as much as just how do we help these guys play through this first game with confidence, and how do we get them to play fast. And I think we have a great game plan and great thought process on how to do that. And so I'm excited to see us do it because you can feel the energy at practice. A group effort. I mean, Andrew VASTARDIS still has a lot of the original, like the early calls. He's in charge of most of that, but the quarterbacks have been really good at, if they see something different, because they have a better viewpoint to manipulate the protections. But it's a group effort. But Joe's been fantastic at that. He understands. And, we just, the time we've had together, VASTARDIS understands. So I think they've done a really fine job with our protections. And, I feel like there's a comfort level there. We haven't had a lot of issues with that. That was the biggest thing that kept me awake at night, is what you just said is the biggest thing for me for the whole off season. How to get all these guys and some of them aren't that young. I mean, like Stuber and Chuck are 4th-year guys. VASTARDIS is a 5th-year guy. They just don't have a lot of game experience, but they're not young, so they've been in the system. But how to get the young guys behind them, because I mean, everybody else is, and Jalen's a veteran, but everybody else is pretty young, and how to bring them all together, how to develop their skills, how to get them playing fast and do it without equipment on. And we came up with some pretty good things. I think we fell into some things that started really working for us. So we got a good rhythm going in individual and our periods where we work by ourselves. And then we just carried that over to pads. I mean, I've been around long enough to know how to get a group ready in pads, but we had a shorter window. Normally you have a month of pads to get a team ready. This year, with the way that they set up when pads could start, it was about 3 weeks. So but it's all been good. Just have to be creative. Use different methods, different techniques, and it forces you to be better with your feet. Without the equipment on your feet, your hands, you don't use your shoulders and headgear as much. So actually, you're learning a safer way to play football before you put on the protective gear that sometimes guys use their shoulders and helmets more than you really want them to, because offensive line is somewhat about movement, but a lot about control, how to control defenders. And sometimes it's about movement too. When you can double team people, then it's about movement. When it's one-on-one, it's usually about control. Andrew is such a hard worker. He's a go blue guy. I mean, he's a hard worker. He's smart. He's tough. And whenever he got his crack, whenever he got his opportunity, he took off